is that we like to fantasize.
They can come into your DMs because, oh, maybe they miss you or they miss the attention. And that actually happened to Alice and I.
And I was like, why'd she comment? And coddle you in your insecurity. Like, I'm excited about this relationship I'm in. When you have the Spirit of God, when you can hear the voice of the Lord, when you have the word, when you know wisdom, when you have good community around you.
Just look out for those certain patterns that you've seen in your past relationships to make sure that you're...
Hello and welcome to another vlog. I'm Alex and then
I'm Troy.
And we have a YouTube channel called Life with the Marrows. The purpose of this channel is to help bridge the gap between where you might find yourself and where you want to be, whether that's spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, relationally,
All the things.
We are learning about all of these things ourselves, but it is what we're passionate about. This is definitely not an educational type of channel, but there will be some education, I guess, or advice or wisdom coming from us in that sense. We recently got married.
Hey, December 2nd
of 2023. So we are recent newlyweds and are living in Orange County, California. So a lot of these videos will take place in Orange County. We'll be taking you guys along today. We just pulled up in front of the gym. After the gym, we are gonna get breakfast sandwich. Where are we going? I think it's like YLS.
Oh yeah, YLS Cafe.
Yeah. We haven't been there yet, but we're trying out different places and to see kind of like what we like and our go-to spots. And then after that, we are going on a hike.
A walk.
Yeah, because I'm not about to go hiking. But yeah, and then after that, we are going to IKEA.
Pray for me, please.
Yeah, I mean, since we just moved to Orange County and just got married, we're kind of like building our home from scratch, and so we do need a couple of things. We're looking for a rug for our room, a rug for the living room. We still need an entryway table, lots of storage. We need a lot of things. Yeah, but we're taking it one step at a time because things are expensive, they cost money, so yeah, we can't break the bank necessarily. And then come home, relax. And then tomorrow, you'll see what we do tomorrow. We're gonna go to church, we're gonna run some errands, and then have our family team meeting for the week.
Hey.
We're gonna head in here and do our workout. Troy, what are you gonna do?
We're gonna do arms, all arms. It's Saturday, so get buff, get big.
Troy doesn't work out his legs though, so.
I did yesterday.
He says to get buff, but like upper body though.
Important, you gotta be able to carry your wife.
What do you do for your legs though?
I run. Those are my leg workouts. And play basketball.
But does that build muscle?
Yes, it does. If you run hills.
Okay. Troy's running a half marathon in a couple weeks.
I got good looking legs, so. But they're only for Alex, so.
We're gonna head in the gym and then continue our day. So foggy. Left the gym. We both had upper body days.
Yeah,
actually.
Best days.
So yeah, it felt really good. We just pulled up to YLS Bakery and Cafe. It is currently 12:58 p.m. So we're about to eat.
Yes, breakfast food, burritos for me. Wow.
Oh no, Trey loves burritos. I can only do burritos so much. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna have breakfast, get coffee, and then go on a trail walk. Yes. Where are you? sun came out. It's hot. This weather says that it's 63 degrees, but it feels like 80 right now on my face. It's usually cold in the morning and at night, and then during the day it might get like a little bit warmer, but it's never like really hot to the point of you're sweating. At least not in my experience, what I've felt so far. Anyway.
Breakfast is good. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, he's using his over the shoulder. That's not what it's called, but what is that called?
I think it is called over the shoulder. I was looking at it on Amazon earlier today. It is...
Oh, crossbody bags.
Crossbody.
Of course. As you guys would know, we are married. So that means we went through some dating process. We went through engagement, and then we do not know much about marriage yet. We will not be giving that much marriage advice here right now. But as far as dating and engagement, we're just talking about some of the things that we learned.
Yes, and we just want to share that with you guys, how important it is just to be able to express these things when you're going out and dating, and eventually engage, and then once you're married.
First thing that I learned is to allow the other person to actually paint the picture of who they are for you. And so with their words and their actions, how do they paint themselves to be? I think, at least for myself, maybe I'm speaking to somebody else out there, myself and some of my other female friends, something that I realized when I started to date Troy is that we like to fantasize, you know? And so seeing a guy, maybe seeing him one time at church, maybe lift his hands, maybe you see him like carry a little child and you're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be the best husband. Did you see him worship? He's a great man, he's gonna be a great father, whatever. Like, you just start to create stories in your head of things that you actually do not know based off of one thing that you saw with your eyes. But he did not allow himself to paint a picture of who he is to you. And so anyway, just fantasies and our own imagination sometimes does not serve us. And so one of the things that I learned while dating is just that, to allow Troy to paint a picture of who he is for me with his actions and with his words, and take him at his word one day by day. And to realize as soon as I'm fantasizing or imagining something that I did not see or hear, to actually call myself out on that and to stop myself from fantasizing and be like, okay, who did he paint himself to be so far? Let me stick to that and not create something else in my own head. So this trail is called Prospect Trail. We discovered it last week and it's beautiful. Very long trail.
So beautiful.
Yeah. People can go biking here. They can go horseback riding, I believe, because we've definitely seen some horse poop. And obviously they can go walking.
And people run.
Yeah, and people run. Not people like me, people like Troy.
Like 7 things, but not 7, but just like, well, something else that I've learned that is super important while dating is being vulnerable, especially for men. If we're not being vulnerable, how are we going to expect females to be vulnerable with us? So we have to be vulnerable with our emotions. We have to be vulnerable with our intentions. We have to just be vulnerable. Oh my God, that scared me. What that looks like is being honest with your feelings, you know? If you like the female, tell her you like her. If you love her, tell her you love her. And just tell her what you want to do. If it's taking her out on a date, if it's to meet your parents, whatever it is, you have to be intentional with these things, because it's going to allow her to just come closer to you ultimately. What do you have to say?
I think being vulnerable and honest with what you're thinking, what you have experienced, so your past, where you are currently at with your relationship with the other person, just being honest with all of that along the way, including the things that she should know about who you are and what makes you you, I think is super important, because you're asking this person to date you, hopefully with the intentions of marriage. And with all of the information that they gather, they should conclude okay, do I want to keep going? Do I want to go out on another date or continue dating this person? Do I want to eventually like take the next step with this person? And so just being honest about everything, not just your emotions, but like literally everything that you need to share with this other person so that they can also make the decisions that they need to make. Okay, another thing that we learned in dating is to not expect something out of the other person that you do not have yourself. Meaning, if you are expecting a man or a woman, in this case I'm a woman obviously, and so if I'm expecting my future spouse to be honorable, to be integrous, to be healthy, to be someone that takes care of their body, to be emotionally healthy or emotionally mature, if I'm expecting all of these things, then I better exemplify that myself. To give you like a example, if I'm expecting someone to be the type of person to get up, go to the gym every day, eat well, be strong, be muscular, which a lot of girls want, then am I doing that myself? I mean, am I going to the gym? Am I strength training? Am I taking care of my body, eating the right foods? Just to not search for something that you do not currently have. I think it just doesn't make sense. It's not fair to ask of somebody else, and it's also not realistic. And so I don't know, you can answer me if you can say something else if I'm like in the wrong, but like with the example of a man who is like strength training and healthy, taking care of his body, like, do you think that they would tend to find someone else attractive that doesn't exemplify those things?
Probably not. I think.
Wait.
Yeah. So I don't think it's fair for a woman to expect that out of a man. This can go in a wide variety of areas too. Could be money, right? You could have an expectation for a man to have a six-figure job, but meanwhile, you might have a job or you might not be working like as hard to get to where he is. And so I just think it's very important to keep our expectations realistic.
Yeah, it's like the double standard. To put it short and in a way that maybe you'd remember, this might sound harsh, but if you are a 3 out of 10 when it comes to the area of emotionality, so say your emotional intelligence, if you're a 3 out of 10 and you're expecting a 10 out of 10, that is unrealistic. And it's not saying that it's impossible for a man who is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to emotional maturity to marry a woman who's a 3 out of 10, but they're probably gonna have some issues, you know? There's no change in that area. And so, yeah, just if you're a 3 out of 10 in an area and you want a 10 out of 10, then you better become a 10 out of 10 in that area. That can do with emotionality, it could do with your spirituality, it could do with your physicality, so how you're doing physically, with your health, your wellness, your mental intelligence, just so many different areas of life. So that is point number, I think it's 3, I don't know. Sure. We're not keeping count, so. I think also something that I would say is like, once you know who you are, and you know what you want, you know where you're going, and speaking to Christians, if your identity is rooted in Christ, and you're like rooted in the Word, I think you should be more able to take rejection, like to be willing to be rejected, because it shouldn't shake your identity and what God has said about you. And then something else is that me and Troy were talking about, sometimes people will reject you, but it'll be like for a legitimate reason. And so it could be a really good learning opportunity. Don't allow it to define you. Don't like spend your years just beating yourself up because of it. But if somebody rejects you because you are rude, or because you don't have integrity, or because you weren't being intentional with them, or because you're lazy, you don't show up to work, maybe you've been fired multiple times while they've been dating you, like there's so many examples I can give you, but sometimes people reject you for a legitimate reason. It can also be a really good time for feedback. Like, okay, thank you so much for this feedback. Is this something that I should actually learn from? So just to take that as a learning opportunity, but to not let it define you. Another thing that I learned while dating, and this might be a touchy subject, but I know that people might find it relatable, is that women especially struggle with comparison. We might struggle with envy, wanting something that is not ours. Because of that, I think something that I personally learned and have also seen other people walk through is when you start dating someone, when you get engaged, when you're close to being married, when you're a recent newlywed, and you have people around you. Specifically, I'm talking about girls because personally I haven't had this issue with men, but who also desire that thing. They desire marriage, they desire to be in a relationship, they desire to be pursued. I mean, we all desire that. There might be stuff that comes up, you know, they might start showing a little bit of envy, maybe a little bit of comparison in the things that they say. And that hurts. I mean, to be the person receiving that, if you're in a relationship, it's like, dang, like, I want you to be excited, you know, for me and with me. I don't want to have to, you know, coddle you in your insecurity. Like, I'm excited about this relationship I'm in. I'm excited about this new season of dating or marriage. And so it might sound harsh. It's definitely not a pretty one, but I think that is another thing that I learned. Don't be surprised if that starts to come up with the people around you. And seasons change. I think once you get into a new season as well, you're going somewhere that other people aren't. Don't be surprised if your environment changes, if you need to revise your friend group. I'm not going to be super close to someone that is not rooting for our marriage. If they have any negative thing to say about Troy,
Bye.
I'm sorry. Yeah, bye. Like, you're not going to be close to me anymore. And so that is definitely something that I learned within the dating process and beyond that. But I would say, not that men don't struggle with that, I don't know, but I would say definitely maybe women can find this to be more relatable.
Another thing that we've learned about dating is just not putting your relationship on social media too early. One of the reasons is you just don't want to prematurely put something out there that might not even last, you know, because now people are going to see your relationship. They'll be like, oh, congratulations, good for you. And then it's like 2 months later, you break up with this person, and now you have to answer to everybody about why you broke up with this person. The other point is now you're inviting other people into your relationship, you know? And so say if you did break up with someone, now that they see that you're happy with somebody else, they can come into your DMs because, oh, maybe they miss you, or they miss the attention, or whatever the case might be. Now you're inviting that back into your life. And so now you have to go block that person, or you have to put up whatever boundaries that you need to put up. And that actually happened to Alice and I on Alice's birthday back in, I think, 2022.
Yeah.
It was my first post of us on social media, and I had someone comment underneath the post, like with just like a little small emoji, and
I remember exactly what it was.
She knows exactly
it was,
what happened.
So Troy posted post like wishing me happy birthday. The first time he posted me on his Instagram, and this girl just commented like little clapping emojis, and I remember where we were in an ice cream shop somewhere around
DC.
Yeah, in DC, and I was like, why'd she comment? I was angry because girls, like, not just girls and not every girl, but like just motivations kind of pay attention to me again. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but no, I think that's the reason why you don't want to put it on social media too early. Say if you've only been dating this person for like a month or two, and then you post them on social media, and then your ex comes sliding back in your DMs. So it just can cause a lot of secrecy. You're like, oh, now my ex DM'd me, I don't know what to do. Like, you shouldn't reply. But now I think you see people go back to their exes because of things like that. So it's just super important to be ready for both of you guys, just to have conversations of when you want to post each other on social media.
Yeah, I have more thoughts, but we'll end on that note. Okay, so another thing that I will add is when you know, you know. So I think I said that in my vows, just like with Troy. I know that this might sound crazy or ridiculous, but so we met on Instagram. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
In the
but
DMs, baby. That's where it goes down.
Oh my goodness. Well, we met on Instagram, and so we were messaging back and forth for maybe like 2 days on Instagram, and then he asked for my number, and then we were text messaging. Eventually we were voice messaging, and then eventually we were FaceTiming. It only lasted, I want to say, maybe 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks before he asked to come visit me. So at the time I was living in Tallahassee, Florida. He was living in Sarasota, which is 4.5 hours apart. So anyway, that's why he didn't come visit me before. But honestly, before he came to visit me, I know that this might sound crazy, but I had a feeling that he was gonna be my husband. I never had that feeling before with anybody else until Troy. And so when people say, when you know, you know, honestly, like, that's very true. I don't know if it's true for everybody necessarily, but I mean, let me speak to some Christians out there that have the Spirit of God in them. When you have the Spirit of God, when you can hear the voice of the Lord, when you have the word, when you know wisdom, when you have good community around you, hopefully with all of those things, you're better able to tell whether a person is for you or not. And so I think this next thing that I wanted to say is something that I learned in dating is to go based off of your own personal timeline. Don't follow somebody else's timeline just because they say it's wise or just because they say this is the way to go, but follow the voice of the Lord. If God has already told you somebody's for you, then believe him. And obviously there's practical things to do before you get married. And so I'm not just saying to, like, once you know that this person is your spouse, to get married like the next day.
Be wise.
Yeah, be wise. I mean, if you're still in school, for example, and you want to finish your getting your degree, maybe you live with roommates and you have to wait until the lease is over. You know, there's practical things. Maybe you literally have no money. Maybe you are finishing up a job, and anyway, I can go on. But there's practical things as far as like timeline goes to get married, but you don't have to wait a year just because somebody else did it. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 years. Follow your own timeline.
Yes.
So that is what I will say for that. So we're gonna go back home because my phone is dying. I really need to use the restroom, and we're just gonna take a little break, and then we're going to
IKEA.
Yes, we're gonna
So
go
excited.
to you should be. We're gonna go to IKEA, look around, hopefully find some things that we need. So we're gonna take a break from all the things that we learned while dating, and we'll pick back up soon. Okay, so we just left the house about 10 minutes ago. We are on our way to IKEA. This IKEA is in Costa Mesa. We haven't been there yet here in California. I don't think so.
Nope.
No.
First time.
Yeah, first time. So I'm excited. I think I mentioned this already, but we are gonna get we'll try to find some rugs and then some organizing things. So we'll see what we find, but we'll record some of that. We might listen to a podcast on the way. We might listen to the Remnant Radio if you haven't listened to that and you're a Christian or you want to learn about theology and Jesus and all the things. I recommend that podcast. It's called the Remnant Radio. I have Greek yogurt as a snack. Does anybody else just take what's left over in like a container and use that as the bowl or the cup if there's not that much left? I mean, because why not? Like, why are you dirtying a plate if there's not that much Greek yogurt left in here? This is literally shaped like a bowl. But anyway, if you're trying to increase your protein intake also, this is one of my top tips, is to have Greek yogurt. There's so much protein in here. 2/3 of a cup, 0 grams of fat, and 18 grams of protein. 18 grams of protein, that is crazy. I put chocolate protein powder in it and it tastes like a dessert. So, and then you could add like berries to it, granola if you want to, you don't have to. but it tastes, I promise you, like a dessert. If you're also someone that's trying to build muscle or maintain muscle, I recommend this. We are 17 minutes away. I think we're gonna listen to a podcast, and we will see you guys in IKEA. That was not a successful trip, I would say. It was a fail. I mean, we went to go look for rugs. We did get this little container. We also got, these little food containers. And then lastly, we did get a pot. This is like the most successful thing, I guess. We did get a pot for our calanthe. This is an olive tree that we got off of Amazon. So that was the most successful thing out of the whole trip, I guess. But it's fine. It was a Saturday, and we kind of just go with the flow on Saturdays and just really take this time to rest and enjoy one another's company and do the things that bring us joy. So we both love IKEA. So yeah, I mean, it was fun, but we're back.
She loves IKEA.
You don't like IKEA?
It's I.
Okay. We're gonna eat, watch Love is Blind, and then we'll pick up the vlog again tomorrow. And we're actually not done with the things that we learned while dating, but we will continue sharing all of the things. They are not an exhaustive list of the things that we learned, but some of the things tomorrow. So. Okay, so it's the next day. Today is Sunday, and we are on our way to church. We do go to Garden Church. It is about a 30 to 35 minute drive, depending on the morning, I guess. After church, we are going to get some lunch. After lunch, we're going to run some of our Sunday errands. So we definitely are going to go to Costco. We have a large list of groceries that we need to get. So that's what we're going to do today. And actually, I don't know, I haven't asked Troy this, but I do want to go to like TJ Maxx or a Home Goods or Marshall's, something like that, to see if we could find rugs, because we've been in the search for rugs and we haven't been able to find anything. And also, if we happen to see an entryway table or a buffet table, which like buffet tables are little tables that can go next to like your kitchen dining room set. Basically, it's for storage, specifically for kitchenware, I think. Don't quote me on this, but that's what I've seen like through Amazon. So we do need something like that because our house doesn't have that much storage. After that, we'll go back home, unpack everything, and if we have time, plan is to do a family team meeting today, so we'll show you guys what that looks like and the things that we discussed just to prepare for the week. But to continue on what we learned during dating, another thing that came to my mind is intentions. So men's intentionality. One of the things that I did not know before I dated Troy is the intentionality that men have when they actually know what they want. And so one of the things that I learned while dating is that if a man is actually interested in you and actually likes you and wants to pursue something with you, it will be clear. Like, they will make their intentions known. If you have to guess whether a guy likes you, or you have to guess, if he's interested, if he's pursuing you, whatever, then he probably doesn't like you. I mean, I don't know. Most likely, he might not like you, and he might not be trying to actually pursue you if you have to guess and if you're not sure. This actually just saves you so much time and so many hurt emotions and feelings. And so girls, pay attention to me. If you're confused on whether a guy likes you, then he might not like you, at least not in that moment. That is one thing that I learned while dating Troy. And something I really appreciate about him is that he made his intentions very clear, and I didn't have to guess whether or not he liked me, what he was thinking, where we stood, none of that. So definitely saved a lot of time. It was just a really great way for my heart to just remain safe. And he just did a really good job in honoring me and respecting my time and my emotions. So hopefully that made sense, but that is another thing that I learned while dating.
They say like, oh, yes, learn more about the church. Do you want to do that, or do you want to? I'm saying like we do it next Sunday, obviously.
You see all the ministry that the prophets talked about coming, and it's
So we just left church. We are currently in a series called Reconstructing Church, and it's all about basically what the Bible teaches the church is supposed to look like versus just going to a church building on a Sunday morning and reading your word and just having knowledge of what's in scripture, if that makes sense. And so we're going through the book of Acts. Right now we are on our way to lunch, and we actually don't know what we're getting yet or where we're going, but we're on our way to Home Goods, and then hopefully there's like something in the plaza. We are going to be continuing what we learned while dating, so Troy got the next point.
Another thing that is important while dating is just to be yourself. Because while you're dating someone, while you're getting to know someone, you don't want to portray a false image of yourself to that person, because then once you're down the line and you're dating 6-9 months from now, or even about to be at that point of being engaged, and this person gets surprised like, whoa, I didn't know you were like that. That's just, it's not integrous. And so just to keep being your authentic self while you're in the dating process.
Hey!
Who's this who's?
Mine, Troy's. Mine's better. Okay, so we just left World Market, and right now we are sitting in front of Home Goods. We found a pillow at World Market, but we actually did find a rug that we liked for our bedroom, so I think we're going to either order that online or come back this week to...
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Why are you so hesitant about coming back?
The far drive, and it's supposed to rain.
It's not that far. But the next thing that I learned while dating was meet the friends. So Troy and I did long distance dating. Troy was in Sarasota and I was living in Tallahassee at the time. And if you don't know, Tallahassee and Sarasota are about 4.5 hours apart. And Troy had just moved to Sarasota that February. So February of 2022, we met May of 2022. And so he didn't really have like, you know, an established community or a friend group in Sarasota at the time that we met. And so it was really important for me to meet people that he did know really well and that he did do community with. And so October of 2022, we actually ended up taking a trip to San Francisco on his birthday.
The big 3-0 for my birthday.
It was really helpful because it is true that you are the closest people that you surround yourself by. And so that could be a good thing, and then that could be a bad thing. So who are these people? What are they like? What do they say? What do they believe? What are they speaking into you? All of those things are really important for me to see, to actually be able to trust that Troy was who he said he was and he wasn't just putting up a front. You can do that for, you know, a few months, and then eventually like the real you does come out. Your community can really show a person a lot about you. And so once I did meet his friends, and I was like, okay, they're awesome. They're awesome. They really love Jesus. They're really rooted in their word. His mentors are amazing people, and you know, it's cool that you're able to see, okay, the people pouring into you and speaking into your life, I trust them, and so I can trust Troy even more. And so if you're currently dating somebody and you have not met the friends, this is your sign to go meet the friends.
Go do it.
Yes, and it's very important to do before you get married. So we're about to head into
Home Goods.
and we'll talk to you guys later. We found a buffet table. Let's see if it works.
What's the worst you can hear? No, I'm not interested. All right, y'all ready to get it going? By the way, we had a great response. Y'all blew my inbox up with this, so this is gonna be good. All right, let's get it rolling.
Thank you.
Macadamia nut.
Which one should I take? This one? Thank you. $226.13 for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Pretty good.
So, Alice and I just left Costco. We're finally on the way home. It's been a great day. Went to church. We went to Corner Bakery Cafe. Picked up some things from Home Goods. And what's the other store? Oh, World Market. That's where we went also. And so now we're finally back on the way home. Gonna have breakfast for dinner. So excited. Probably watch some Love is Blind. But the other thing that I've learned from relationships is being honest about your past relationships. Now we're pivotal and had like an impact on who you are as a person today. It's going to allow you just to be able to learn from your past relationships. If you're seeing a certain pattern that arose plenty of times in your past relationships, just look out for those certain patterns that you've seen in your past relationships to make sure that you're well aware of what you need as a person.
So Troy came to know Jesus when he was 22?
Yep.
Yeah, when he was 22. But I didn't really care about the relationships that he was in pre-giving his life to Jesus, because I'm like, yeah, you were a totally different person, literally. Like, but now you've been made into a new creation. Now you are filled with the Spirit of God. And so with that, I wanted to know just what his life looked like post giving his life to Jesus and those types of relationships. And so, yeah, just wanting to make sure for the both of us, not just him, but that we were continuously growing and continuously looking, reflecting at our past relationships, reflecting on ourselves, why we did the things that we did, why we dated the people we dated, why we were attracted to those characteristics, whatever it might be, whether for good or for bad, and just to make sure that we were continuously making better and better decisions, and with each other ultimately, you know? And so, was I dating just another version of the toxic type of trait that I have been used to, or have I now chosen someone better and more suited for me based on who God is creating me to be? Hopefully that made sense, but that is the other thing that both of us learned but that we wanted to share. But yeah, we are on our way home and we're gonna unpack all of our groceries. We went to Costco and spent, I think it was like $220 something there, which is typical because we do get groceries to last us for about 2 weeks, and then of course other things that you can get in bulk at Costco that could last you even past 2 weeks. It might last you for a very long time. So we love Costco, highly recommend. And then, like Troy said, relax for the rest of the night. But we will see you guys when we get there. Okay, so I thought I would show you guys what we got in Home Goods. We got this little, I don't know what it's called, but I'm calling it a buffet table, but I don't know. That's what it's intended for. I guess it could also be a bookshelf, but anyway, we are gonna use it to store some like kitchen items, we don't have that much storage here where we're living, so yeah, we needed some places to put some things, so we're gonna put it to good use. I kind of like it. I didn't know if it was gonna match well and go well with this kitchen table. It's not exactly the same color, but honestly it's okay. This was $130, so it wasn't too bad, and it's really cute. So, and it's definitely a furniture piece that I would use in the future. I'm going to unpack all of these groceries that we got. Yeah, I'm gonna unpack all of this and make breakfast for dinner. So I'll show you what I end up making. Okay, so we're about to have breakfast for dinner, and I am making an omelet. I don't want to burn myself, but I don't know if you can see that. And I also toasted some, oh shoot, it might be like crouton-y. I also toasted some bagels with some nut butter on there, so we will have that, something sweet and something salty. But I think we're gonna end off the vlog here. Me and Troy are going to eat dinner, and then we'll probably watch some of The Bachelor and just relax for the rest of the night. We were going to have our family team meeting, but I think we are actually going to change up our routine this week and do it tomorrow. So we figured while we're still in the work mode, tomorrow, Monday night, might be a little bit better than a Sunday night, because Sunday night, after going to church and running all of the errands, we kind of just want to end off the weekend on a relaxing note and maybe just watch a movie and enjoy one another's company versus doing a meeting. I will show you guys in a later vlog kind of what we talk about during our family team meetings. Okay, so we are waiting for our food to finish cooking, but we realized that I don't think that we actually verbalized why we wanted to do this video. So this whole video, obviously we're doing like kind of a weekend in our life, but the main premise of it was to share what we learned during dating. Not just dating each other, but just dating, period. I'm 29.
I'm 31.
Yeah, so just all of our experiences dating put together, and also from like other wise people that we've, you know, gathered information from. We wanted to share some of the things. It was not an exhaustive list. I mean, we could talk about it all day, but we wanted to share some of the things that we've learned with you guys, because our biggest desire with this channel is really to help you guys bridge the gap between where you find yourself in life right now versus where God has originally designed you to be. And so whether that's in the areas of relationships, whether that's spiritually, whether that's financially, emotionally, relationally, so with your friendships, with your, if you are trying to date, if you are trying to be married, if you are currently married, we want to help bridge the gap between where you are and where God has created you to be. And so some of the things that is obviously helpful with that is just learning wisdom from people around you. So we definitely don't have all the answers.
Don't know everything.
Yeah. And we're still growing, still learning, still getting older, and we just got married as well. So we're definitely not going to give a whole bunch of marriage advice in this channel right now. We are going to be talking about our current experiences and what we're learning currently, but not talking as if we have all of this wisdom in the world, because we don't when it comes to marriage yet. We will, hopefully one day.
One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. So that is why we wanted to do this vlog. Hopefully it was helpful, and we'll definitely be sharing in the future just more things that we've learned when it comes to dating, and also engagements, and then marriage so far. What else would you want to share with them?
Some red flags, green flags. We're going to talk about things that we changed differently when we were dating and through our engagement process.
So we're excited, and we hope that you guys follow along. Hopefully it'll add some value to your life as well. So we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.